All right, this is the first styling of this tree ever. I collected it from my parents' garden when I was 15 years old, so that's 25 years ago, almost. But I never really worked on the tree. I did some pruning, I always kept it in a bonsai pot, I fertilized it, but I don't think the tree has ever been wired. I never really figured out what to do with it. But I think today, finally, we have some time to work on it. So it's not just me working on it. I have a friend who also knows a lot about the deadwood. But I first wanted to give you a bit more history of the tree. So when it was collected, this tree was another 2 meters taller, so that explains why it's so thick. So before digging it out, I just took a saw, cut this off, and then I placed it in a very large wooden box. There were a lot of roots, but also going very deeply, so I had to cut those off. And then a few years later, I repotted it to a smaller pot, more or less this size. Again, I had to chop off lots of the roots, so basically the trunk went into the soil another ½ meter, so I chopped it off, and there were some fine roots that took over. Actually attached it to the wooden board with a screw from the bottom, and that kept the tree intact. And then over time the roots grew out. Now it's stabilized in the pot, and the tree is healthy. You know, it's fall right now, so it's a good time to do this drastic work. So that is, I think for now, enough history for the tree. The tree is a boxwood, a Buxus. So it's old. I think this is at least 50, 60 years old, but who knows? I don't know how long it was planted in the garden. Doesn't really matter either. So what to do with this tree? We have a very straight trunk with a lot of interest in terms of deadwood, but it's never been worked on, so there's a lot of rotten parts. Also here, like this is all horrible, just never worked on, never protected either. So before planning or before deciding on a front, etc., the first step to do is to take our deadwood tools, power tools as well, to figure out what on the tree is alive and what is dead. So we know these branches are alive, obviously, so we know that everything over here is alive. Same here, but we have to find the place where the dead starts and the life ends, and then we can work a little bit on that deadwood. I'll take you close up so that you can see what we do, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so what we just did was get rid of all the rotten deadwood, and actually it was not as bad as I thought it would be. Most of the trunk is still solid and strong wood, so it seems like rain and water found its way through the trunk and went down, and the sides of the trunk here are still strong, so this is all good. All these branches I'm just going to tie together so that I give myself space near the deadwood to work. So I'll do that first, and then we'll use power tools, and actually my friend Christiaan will help with the deadwood creation. The screw that I once used to attach the tree from underneath to a board, we found it. Don't need that anymore, luckily. We've tied the branches together, and that also really helps us to look at the potential fronts of the tree. So before really working on the deadwood, I think it's a good time to discuss that. Rotating or spinning the tree around, also at home, if you think about what the potential fronts would be, we have a few options. And what we always want is to find a front where the base of the trunk is big, where we see the interplay of deadwood and the live veins, where we have branches that we can position towards you. But that last thing, the branches, usually those can be manipulated, so that's not the main thing to worry about. So the main thing to worry about is the base of the trunk and the deadwood and the live veins. So if we do that, I think we have two options. I put the wires in there, so more or less in this direction could be a front. You have a nice view into the open part of the trunk, the hollow, and there's a shadow that shows in there. Plus, all the branches are visible, and you can still bend them around. That's one option. The other option is more or less in this direction, where you can really see into the trunk and have the branches on both sides. If, for example, I'd show you this side of the tree, wouldn't really work. It's very thin, so you're looking at the thinnest part of the trunk. If you look at this side, you see all the live part of the trunk, but you lose track of the beautiful deadwood. So that's also not really an option. So I think option 1 and option 2. Well, let's work on the deadwood and see what we come up with. But a tree can have two fronts as well. So let's work with these two in mind and first start with the deadwood. The tool that we'll use is a Dremel. You see the installation next to me here. And attached to the Dremel you can use a lot of different bits. So we'll use with some really strong bits here because we really want to thin out this trunk, and especially the top part needs to be hollowed out much thinner, because right now it's just there's no taper at all. And so you can visually create that taper by making this top part look much thinner and the lower part not as much. Also, if you look at the live vein, there's a lot of details and nice movement, so I don't want to touch that at all. Perhaps we can create a few holes and a few hollows and add interest there. But working with deadwood, it's not like you create a plan and you stick to it. You got to work with what the tree gives you, so it's just something you have to go along, play with, and we'll see where we get to. You can check out our YouTube channel for videos about these techniques, but perhaps also consider enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. Here, expert teachers explain all the relevant techniques in detail, and as a student you can also ask questions directly to the teachers. Each of our online bonsai courses have free previews available in the curriculums. Simply go to bonsaiempire.com/courses. Alright, so my friend's been busy working on this deadwood section, and it's really coming along nice. So in the beginning we discussed the two front options. This is still an option as well, but now that we're working on the deadwood, it's slowly, but I think becoming more clear that this is the ideal front, because you have a great view on the deadwood, and also the position of the branches is good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big branches that we can use in our design. Actually, I don't think we'll use them all. If this would be the front, then for sure we'll need this branch in here, the other branch as a counterbalance over here. So those are clear, and then we have these 3 left. So one of them will need to become the apex, and this will be a back branch for sure. It's on the back side of the tree. So these 2 branches we have left. Well, this is the obvious apex. It's the current apex, and so we can use it. But actually, we could also go for this branch as the new apex, which is quite full and also nicely developed. Plus, there's a lot of things happening here. So by removing this one, we also simplify this area a bit, which I think will be good. So this one I will take out. Then, so main branch, counterbalance, back branch, new apex, and this will come off. I'll leave a good chunk over here. We can create some deadwood here as well. I'm not sure yet. Well, let's see. Also reflecting on the way that we worked with the deadwood and the Dremel. The first layer of the wood, especially right here, was very soft, so it was rot, and like I said, I never ever treated it, so for the last 25 years in the pot, this is what Mother Nature did. And so today with the Dremel we took away all the rotten stuff, and especially this section really changed. We took off about this much in terms of height, and then even though this is still quite thick, if you compare it to this section for example, because we make some hollows here and you can look through it, it looks much softer and finer. And so there is a visual taper now in this main section of the trunk, which I think looks really nice. So I took this off. That means that we can also access this part a little bit better. So we'll work a little bit more on the deadwood here. And then the next step is to start setting these branches in position. We'll need some thick wires as well. Buxus or Boxwood is incredibly stiff and strong, so we need to be careful not to break anything. But this younger stuff we can manipulate all over the place. It's just these sections will be a little bit harder. Alright, the big job of wiring has concluded. This was a lot of work, so this tree in total was almost a full day work. And there's a lot of branches, so we've spread them out a little bit so you can now really see how much foliage there's on this tree. And now it's time to start setting them. So front of the tree, finally decided this side of the tree. Best view on the deadwood and a lot of options for the branches. So like I already mentioned, we have our main branch here, counterbalance, back branch, and branches to create a new apex. We'll begin setting these branches in position next. So we like to start lower in the tree, also because that gives us space for the other branches to come down. So first we style this branch completely, and then this branch, and then the back branch, apex. So in that order, we just go through the tree. The branch that we set with raffia and the thick wires, and also the guy wire, I think it's in the final shape that we want. So also it went down quite a bit, and now we can also reposition all the other branches just with wire. So all branches have been set in position, and I must say I'm really happy with how the tree turned out. Especially the apex of the tree is really well developed now. There's a few sub layers here, other pads, and this will be the top of the tree. Now there's a few branches here that over time I want to reduce a little in length, but like for example here there's no foliage, so I have to use this all, but perhaps later on I can reduce that. Some branches still have to develop more, some branches I will cut back over time. But overall I think we have a really nice image already. The tree will go into winter, no special aftercare needed, and then springtime it will grow again much stronger than before because we spread out all those branches. They get much more light than before. Before it was just a bush, and now everything is open. So the tree will likely react with a lot of strong growth, which is good. So maybe in spring, otherwise a year later, we can think about repotting the tree. It hasn't been repotted for a few years, so I think it's about time we do that. Big shout out to my friend Christiaan, who helped a lot with wiring, and he did all the deadwood as well, which I think turned out really nice. If you like what we do on our YouTube channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. That will help you find future videos that we make, also updates of this tree. And if you subscribe and also set your notifications on, then you will even be notified when we upload a video on the channel. Next, we prepare the pot by covering the drainage holes with a mesh. We also attach long wires, which will be used to anchor the tree to the pot firmly. We add a layer of soil before placing the tree into the pot. Place the tree slightly off-center in the pot and make sure to plant it at the right angle. The soil mixture we use is a blend of akadama, lava rock and pumice. You can read more about bonsai soil on our website, bonsaiempire.com. This is what the tree looked like before it was styled. After pruning, wiring and repotting, this was the result. Learn how to create your own bonsai trees by enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. We explain techniques like pruning, wiring and repotting, and you can ask questions to the teachers. For the curriculums and free lessons, go to bonsaiempire.com/courses.